Are you looking for a free open source alternative to Minayo or AWS S3 that's faster, memory safe, and has a more permissive license? Let's discover RustFS, a high-performance S3 compatible distributed object storage system built in Rust. It delivers up to 2.3 times faster performance than Minayo on small objects and supports versioning, worm, server-side encryption, and cross-region replication, all reachable through any S3 client or SDK in Go, Rust, Python, JavaScript, and many more. To start using RustFS, you can try their online demo, self-deploy it by following the documentation's installation guide, or use a platform like ours, Elestio, to deploy it seamlessly on your server or the cloud provider of your choice. We handle the installation, backups, updates, and ongoing maintenance for you. To start using RustFS on our platform, head to ls.io and click on Login. Then deploy my first service, search for RustFS, select, choose between the different cloud providers, regions, and service plans we provide. On the final screen, you can adjust more advanced settings and choose between different levels of support. Once you're all set, hit the Create Service button. Once the installation is finished, you will receive this email. Let's follow the Get Password link. You will be redirected to Elestio administration dashboard for your RustFS instance. Copy the password. The username will be RustFS admin, remember it, and let's open our instance. We arrive on a RustFS login screen. Let's type RustFS admin, paste the key from your clipboard, and then log in. The home screen, the browser is the list of the buckets, which makes sense for this type of software. Let's create a new bucket, name it Elestio demo. On a bucket, you can enable versioning. What it means is if you write a file, if you overwrite it using the same name, it will automatically save other version of it. So you can restore them if you made any mistake or you want. You can enable object locking. When you do that, it unlocks a retention setting to choose the validity of a file in days or year. And you can also limit the maximum size of your bucket. Let's disable retention, keep the default, create our bucket. Once your bucket is created, it will appear in this list where you can open the different ones, see the number of objects it has, the size, and also the access policy. Without it, we won't be able to open our bucket. So first thing is to create access keys. Yet, so let's add one. It automatically generated an access key and secret key, but I don't know how you get access to this. As it's a password, you can't just copy it. So I guess you need to generate a password using any method and write it here. I will simply type Elestio demo for now. You can add an expiration date, name the key, useful to understand its context and what it gives access to, Elestio dev team, add a description, and by default it will use the main account policy. If you don't, it will open this JSON interface, which is the same you have in Amazon S3 or any S3 compatible platform. Let's use the main account policy, submit, and we now have our new user. We now have our secret key, and as you can see, the secret key is visible here. So you don't need to type it or anything. We just copy it from there and save it because you won't be able to see it again. Okay, export, it downloads the JSON file, and we now have our access key. We can also define all the policies here. So by default, you have console admin, read only, read write. But like you saw for a specific key, you can also create your policies here. So we saw two levels of permissions. You have keys that have access to policies, and you have the buckets that also have policies attached to them. So here we can edit the access policy and choose if it is public, private, or custom. And what we can do is also to create users. Here, let's create like an IAM account on AWS, Elestio team member, Elestio demo. You can add them to groups, but we didn't create group before. And then you can assign the policy you want. Let's say, okay, this user has read-write access. You can also add multiple ones. Submit. This user will be able to log into RustFS different buckets. Based on its permissions, it will be able to do more on their interface or even just read access. You also have a dedicated panel to create the groups. In running status, you can see the analytics of what is going on, how many buckets, how many objects, what is the maximum size of your instance, and what is used by all the buckets. If you have clusters enabled, you can also see the different servers and disks. You can also monitor actions when new files are updated or buckets. Here add an event destination, either using a queue with MQTT or triggering webhooks. And based on your needs, you can also enable SSE and add OIDC providers. As always, for features that I didn't present in this video, I highly recommend you to dive into the documentation to see what are the additional features and also check if your requirements are met. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed discovering RustFS with us. Please hit the like button to help our channel be more visible to other open source lovers. Don't forget to subscribe to not miss our next platform overviews. If you want to continue your open source journey, watch this video, available here.